Drama.
Action. Comedy. Palace intrigue. Story Squad presents Clash of the Pencils. Woo! Welcome one and all. It's another nice fall night here in Milford, Delaware. We have some great story matchups for you tonight. As always, we'll recap the day's highlights of Clash of the Pencils action. Welcome back to the nightly live stream, the most watched creative writing esport league live stream in the history of the internet. I'm your host, Tom Sherman, and we're here as we are every weeknight to review the top 3 short story submissions from around the net, get the latest scores, see who's atop the leaderboard, and of course, go over our top 5 sentences of the day. We field anywhere from 0s to 10s of submissions daily, which all then get run through our high-tech computer Storybot 3000, which uses, among other things, a carton of ice cream to analyze every story. We then take Storybot's top 3 picks and let you, the public, vote on them to determine tonight's winner. Alongside me tonight, I've got Greg, the Egg Beater Peterson. Why do they call you the Egg Beater?
Terror overcame Pippin and Merry, and they threw themselves flat on the ground. Sam shrank to Frodo's side. Frodo was hardly less terrified than his companions. Oh, hey, Tom. Just reading.
Well, hello there, Egg Beater. What an entrance. Before we get underway, let's remind folks what exactly everyone's playing for tonight besides fame and glory, and that is an exclusive IOU NFT. This unique NFT is a 1 out of 10,000, is a unique 1 out of 10,000 set, and it's actually an NFT for a future NFT that will be from a 10,000 drop from Story Squad. So the current estimated cash value of the IOU NFT is $100 US. However, that's not the full value of NFTs. Think of NFTs like keys to the future. Right now, as humans, we interact with businesses and organizations much like ants might their queen, slaving away day in and day out for resources to give to the queen so that she may survive. NFTs turn this one-directional relationship into a community partnership. Owning NFTs of organizations will allow those owners special perks like early access to future products, exclusive content behind paywalls, and access to the inner community. Not only that, but NFTs are transferable, allowing owners to sell at a premium, which in turn appreciate all other NFTs held by community members. So NFTs are part art, part online identity, part admission to a virtual country club, part crypto speculation, part generational wealth, and all real, baby. Wow. That doesn't make you want to handwrite a short story. I'm not sure what will.
It almost makes you question, like, what are you doing at your job? If you can be spending 20 minutes writing by hand for an NFT, the upside there is almost infinite.
That's a good point. It would actually probably be worthwhile to write the story at your job and just risk it, and just
double time. Yeah.
Get paid on company time to be winning NFTs, baby. It's easy. With that, let's take a look at the current leaderboard. Right now, Champion on top with 165 after their victory yesterday. Sar Blue 7788 coming in second at 140. Joanna Man in third at 100. Side note, we did tally Slice's score from their story yesterday, and they scored an 84. So they're actually in fourth place with 99 points, just 1 point outside of the top 3. And then Nancy Drew on the outside looking in with 43 points. Still neck at neck all the way around here, Greg.
It's anybody's game. It's early in the week. I always think Tuesdays are when it starts to take shape, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Those early leaders. Can champion really mount an insurpassable lead?
That's that. But Tuesday and Wednesday are when the week is won. That is a fact. So let's also take a look here at the writing prompt for the day. A professor is teaching a course and looks up to see two shadowy figures standing in the back.
Ooh.
So, yeah, we've got some characters, we've got some setting, we've even got a little bit of a plot. I mean, the plot is ambiguous, actually. That's the one, there's got to be a teacher or a professor, and there's got to be two shadowy figures. That's the main core of the prompt today.
Let's take a look and see what there's going on.
All right. Is that where would you go with this prompt, Greg, if you had to be an author?
It seems like it's like right on the cusp of like an action, like a chase sequence or something. Where my mind goes, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the academia context where we go with that.
And actually, I just remembered that the videos are not uploaded quite yet, so I have to bring in the videos into the studio right now. This is going to be freshly uploaded content. I mean, you can't beat this, folks. This is a live internet radio live stream at its best.
It's organic, all the parts.
That's a fact. So the two viewers out there, we're on your side right now. To the one viewer out there, the second one just dropped off, but that's fine. I'm not worried about it too much. Oh, look at this. Champion's story has uploaded. You put your pinky over this hand, and voila, it's a dog. Professor Green was the world's foremost expert in shadow puppets. He looked up at the two shadowy figures of dogs his students made and smiled. Tenure felt good. After class, Professor Green's star student Penelope came up to his desk. Professor, my parents don't think a degree in shadow puppetry is worth paying $35,000 a year. They said I need real job skills. It's always sad to see such ignorant parents stifling the potential of a promising young woman, mused Professor Green. I'd say you're your own adult. If you choose, you can emancipate from this close-minded family. Take out student loans. Follow your passion. Wow, so here we have a professor teaching shadow puppetry at university and very happy with himself for that, only to be approached by his star student wondering if a $35,000 a year tuition is worth becoming a shadow puppeteer, to which Professor Green encourages her to follow her passion.
What I love about this, Tom, is that I was expecting something on the character side, the shadowy figures. I wasn't expecting this to be the domain of the class. It's like a new department. I thought that was my favorite part. The lines tenure felt good, and then once you achieve that certain milestone, there's really no market forces that can get you to have to do really anything in the field. There was some anxiety here about the the value of higher education and the tension between real job skills and sort of the life of the mind, or here I would say the life of the fingers in the mind. I think it's something that all humanities majors have had to wrestle with. And characters, I think it was definitely a character-driven piece. I recognized a lot of the language of academia. It didn't really have a plot. Most professors don't have their lectures don't have plots. It's just sort of utter rambling into the void. Unlike anything going on here. Unlike anything
we're just not rambling into the void at all.
Zeros of listeners.
Well, yeah, it's between zeros and tens.
Yeah.
I gotta agree with you there. I think really the whole the whole essence of this piece was that setup and it being shadow puppets and subverting the prompt in and of itself. Beyond that, it was not quite a lot of plot, not quite a lot of setting, not quite a lot of characters, but yet a satisfying little morsel in and of itself.
Agreed.
Let's see if Sar Blue 7788 can kick it up a notch.
Mr. Peterson crossed in front of the whiteboard, his black marker in hand. As you can see, because we took 7 and subtracted it from the side with our variable, we have to do the same with the other side. When he turned to face his class, he jumped, not expecting the 2 figures that now stood in the back of the room to be there. All the students turned to look. The 2 men both wore black suits, black sunglasses, and an earpiece in one ear. Gentlemen, is there something I can help you with? Mr. Peterson spun the marker in his dump hands. Yes, we believe there is. One of the 2 men stepped forward. He pulled a badge out of his suit pocket, showing them they were from the FBI. There isn't much time to explain, but the FBI needs your expertise, Mr. Peterson. We've been gathering others like you. Like me? What do you mean? He stepped around the desk. What special skill do I have that you require? Math, the man replied, in a deadpan tone. We received a transmission from some alien life forms. They have a ship on its way here. We managed to make an agreement with them. What agreement? The students all watched quietly, which was different from the usual. They won't destroy our planet, and in exchange, we'll let them use Area 51 as a private school for their young. They're tired of teaching math. They said their students don't like to pay attention and think math is stupid. Same, a student said quietly. Both men started crossing the room. We're going around the country rounding up math teachers. We're going to have to ask you to come with us.
So a math teacher looks up mid-algebra lesson to see 2 shadowy figures in the back from the FBI say he needs to come with them in order to save the world, ostensibly. Upon learning why that is because an alien race does not want to teach math to its youth anymore, and now this teacher is going to be heading to Area 51 for the foreseeable future and teaching alien math to unruly students.
My favorite part about this was how Mr. Peterson was really skeptical as to possessing any skills. like why do you want me? like the students knew that this was boring, but even Mr. Peterson knew that he was a dime a dozen. He had no marginal value and was shocked at being recruited into this intergalactic plot. I like the Area 51 as a private school. That little twist. I thought this was great. I think this accomplished a lot. It was a very, very big world. While the previous one was a fairly small, kind of claustrophobically confined, lecture hall. This went from that lecture hall and then extrapolated into this whole macroscape that was enormous, and the fate of the world was at hand. I liked that the boredom of the students and that little pop of dialogue, like there was some sort of connection across the species or whatever.
Yeah, it added a lot where it's, rather than it being this dialogue between Mr. Peterson and the FBI agents, it really takes the reader into that third perspective of like the students sitting there being like, yeah, math is boring. Like I'm with it. So no, I really enjoyed this as well. It had a strong character I didn't really pick up on what you were saying with Mr. Peterson with the like him having no skills, but like after you mentioned it, like
those who can't teach, Tom. That's
it's so great.
You
can't teach. Wow. Well, no, this was good. This was good. Let's see. Let's just get right into Slice and see what Slice has to say about it.
Oh boy.
Monsieur Chen, the chic said, sliding her face from behind her laptop to flash her bright black Chasmesque eyes adorned by spider-leg eyelashes and under mulberry brunette curls and a cream beret. What does the green light mean? Mr. Chen hopped in the back seat and let the Tesla go. His lips chauffeured the class through synopsis he'd written 20 years ago. The content stoked keystrokes and mouse clicks to clack cacophonically. He lost his eyes in the wall in front of him, waiting for his late boys. The pulchritudinous Parisians of the Sorbonne spelunking American lit felt cliché to the expat. After the third hope in the garrulous response, their exhausty silhouettes showed up. They were his boys, shadows in the fire. They were everything under his facade, Monsieur Chen. The flat-haired, dull, dusty-eyed, cheap-coated professor from America. These students don't know his shadows rendezvous behind them each night class. The twins did everything together. It had been their best family trip. Paris, 2018. Andy thought the Eiffel Tower was an Oklahoma derrick. The catacombs pulled so hard. They begged to explore them. Mr. Chen showed them adventure, but he'd sit out in the hotel with Hemingway and Seurat. Judy'd take the boys 'cause their daddy didn't like confined spaces, not that he's scared, but he was lost in an elevator as a boy their age for hours and couldn't get out. Their dad is brave in his own way, and when the boys got greedy for more and ditched the tour and their mom, brave Dad poured a second glass and finished another chapter of a book he'd already knew. And when their bodies were lost in the catacombs for days, brave Dad sat outside, too shook to join the search party. Brave Dad moved to Paris after the divorce, 'cause he couldn't take the Tulsa eyes. Monsieur Chen, the mademoiselle said, interrupting his lecture. The class, it is over. 8 o'clock. Thank you. We'll start again on Wednesday, Mr. Chen said. Bonne nuit. Mr. Chen slowly filled his portfolio, allowing class to empty before him. He stepped to the 4-foot shadows in the back and told them the derricks still down a lift. Together they made it into the crammed metro and click-clacked to the Eiffel Tower. Mr. Chen rode the elevator there for hours and his shadows behind him. So here we have a professor fighting with his demons mid-lecture, teaching just a lot. I don't know. It's just a lot.
I have no idea what's going on, Tom. I have no idea. So I think if I put this together correctly, Monsieur Chen, he used to be just a guy from Oklahoma. From Tulsa.
He comes to Paris with his sons and wife. The twins get lost in the catacombs, apparently tragically, which causes enough stress back home to cause a divorce, which he then takes back off to Paris, becomes a professor, and then has to relive all of his demons, all of his shortcomings as a person, from his initial claustrophobia, and then how that helped kill his boys, and then back to now riding the crammed subway and small elevators of the Eiffel Tower nightly, just hoping to I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's good. That's some close reading right there. I guess what I loved was the distinction between the Americans and sort of the blunt ruggedness of the Americans with the cheap-coated professor from America versus the pulchritudinous Parisians and the sophistication of that culture. It's a bit of a fish out of water story. I'm curious why this man was riding in a Tesla.
I think that was a metaphor of the lecture, where like he's done this lecture for the past, however many years. He's 20 years or something, he says. So like he just puts it on the auto drive and he's just mumbling about some litter. I don't know. It was a little dense for me, a little bit over my head. There was just a lot going on, and I'm,
Storybot 3000 loved it though. Storybot 3000 definitely resonated with those multisyllabic words stacked on top of each other. It was a little bit hard though. The wordplay that sometimes this author Slice can pull off. This one was a little bit hard to picture. The complexity of the story and the changing and going back in time and forward, on top of the wordplay, was a little disorienting for me. I thought the characters, the desperate professors feeling the kind of quiet desperation. There was some psychological depth to returning to the seat, or like the place in which this tragedy happened, and just sort of compulsively riding elevators after work in the Eiffel Tower. But it was I still don't understand the significance of that if the catacombs were the real site.
Well, see, he's a brave. His bravery. He didn't go to the catacombs because he wasn't scared. Like, right? He wanted to just read Hemingway and drink wine. He wasn't scared about it. So he didn't go into the catacombs. The boys get lost and die. And
but
now
it's the last note. Why is he going back to ride the Eiffel Tower?
Because I don't know. He's just trying that's kind of the downfall, right? It's just a little too dense for me. This poor human. I wish I had Storybot 3000's hardware.
It clearly tickled the natural language processing.
I do think it was a strong character, and I do think the setting was, just like how you said the SAR Blues took the classroom and expanded it. I really, I knew I was in Paris. The catacombs. The setting resonated. I think the plot was its downfall, just because it was such an ambitious plot that it never really tied up in a nice, neat bow there at the end.
I'd agree with that. Well, let's see how the internet thought.
Why don't we? So yeah, that's a good point, because right now you've gotten Storybot 3000's update or views on it, and you've got Greg and I's views on it, but really what matters is your views on it. So let's hit refresh here and see where exactly that fell on. So, wow, Slice coming in first today with 249, although that is also 84 of which were from yesterday. But, notwithstanding that, looks like Slice still got the top spot from the public vote as well. SAR Blue 7788 coming in second for the second night in a row. A tough break there, and Champion in third at 115. Looks like the Doctor was in today and scoring an 84. Joanna Man with a 69, and Repeat throwing up a 15 points. And so if we take that over to the week, Champion and SAR Blue 7788 tied in first right now with 280 points a week. Slice in third with 264. Joanna Man boxed out of the finals tonight and now down 100 points at 169. The Doctor, Nancy Drew, and Repeat all sub 100. And let me tell you, Greg, it's hard to make up those points, Tuesday and Wednesday, like we were saying earlier. Once we hit Wednesday, that's going to be a tough hill to climb.
It is. I like the range of these stories, given such a specific scene. It was cool how we got, like you said, to so many different places from it.
So Slice winning the nightly NFT, getting number 4 out of 10,000 of the IOU NFT set. Congratulations there. We'll be in contact on how to get that into your proper crypto wallet. I believe, is the terms that we need
Look
to
at
use
us.
there.
Look at us slinging around these words like we know what we're talking about.
I'm almost
Web3,
an
baby,
influencer.
Web3.
Yeah, hashtag Web3, hashtag DAO, hashtag NFT community. Tomorrow's writing prompt, use the following words in your story: sand, allowance, and idea.
Ooh.
This is wide open here, huh?
I like it. It's like a reverse Mad Libs.
It is like a reverse Mad Libs. So there's just 3 words, and you have to fill in the blanks around them. Easy. I don't know why it would be hard at all. So let's see. We did that. We did the leaderboard. We went over the prompt. You know what we have to do, Greg?
What do we have to do, Tom?
We have to do the top 5 sentences of the day.
All right.
Yeah. Our favorite time of the day. The top 5 sentences of the day. Number 5, coming from Champion. He looked up at the 2 shadowy figures of dogs his students made and smiled. Tenure felt good. That's the Professor Green.
I bet it does, Professor
trying
Green.
to convince his star student to follow her passion of the shadow puppet theater major. Number 4, coming from Joanna Man. So what did you think about Tom's character development? Did the visual of long brown hair, beard, and super reflective aviator glasses distract you away from the author's point about social commentary?
Wow.
Interesting.
Clearly this is fiction. I mean, this is not map onto reality in any meaningful way.
All characters are fictional, we assume.
Mm-hmm.
And Storybot 3000 should know that as well, since obviously Storybot picked these top 5 sentences. All right. Interesting story from Joanna Man about a professor teaching possibly about the Clash of the Pencils live stream. Not quite sure. It was a little muddy there in the end. Let's go on to number 3 from SAR Blue 7788. Same, a student said quietly. Really resonating with young aliens' hate for math. Just like they're just like us. Same. Number 2 from the doctor. Shadow box my box of shadows, Professor, cackled the assistant superintendent as it opened the school manual. It was kind of like a fantasy sci-fi thing the doctor was going for today. Didn't quite land, but Storybot obviously liked that one sentence. No, right, you are, Greg. All right.
Were you waiting for me? I was just sort of concentrating.
I don't know. I thought you might have a reaction, but maybe not. Number 1 sentence of the night from Slice. Together they made it into the crammed metro and click-clacked to the Eiffel Tower. Mr. Chen rode the elevator there for hours with his shadows behind him. The final culmination of a man chased by his demons nightly in a Parisian American lit class of some sort. Anyways, thrilling stuff as always, folks. That wraps up another edition of the Clash of the Pencils nightly live stream. So if you want to participate, it's really easy. All you have to do is go to the website. It's clash.storysquad.app and write a 1-page story on this prompt. Use the following words in your story: sand, allowance, and idea. And before you know it, you could be having an IOU NFT in your wallet and possibly quitting your job. I mean, not right now. Probably in like a couple of years.
Is infinite. The upside potentially is infinite here.
Right. Exactly. The upside is infinite. All right. And so with that, until next time, we'll see you out on the paper. Do you want to participate in the Clash of the Pencils and Story Squad universe? It's easy. Join us on Twitter or in our Discord server at Story Squad HQ. There's lots of ways to participate. Draw some fan art. Play our addictive game of jokes and master strokes, Word Hoax. Or join Greg's monthly book club. And as always, remember to pay your cat tax. Money, fame, and love can all be found here at Story Squad.